Hello, viewers. Today is July 18th, 2024. I'm here to discuss about the battleground state of New Hampshire in the US presidential election. New Hampshire has got 4 electoral college votes, and it has got 10 counties. And let's go ahead and look at the historical electoral data perspective from the year 2000 onwards. Before that, I would like to mention that this is also one of the states that Democrats have won from 1992 onwards, with the possible exception of the year 2000 election between Al Gore and George W. Bush, when Al Gore lost to George W. Bush in the year 2000 election. So let's go back and look at the electoral data from the year 2000 onwards. In the year 2000, Al Gore was matched up with George W. Bush, and Al Gore lost by a margin of 1.27% and by around 7,200 odd votes. So he lost that 4 electoral college votes. The reason I'm saying he lost that 4 electoral college votes is because it has got a huge significance in the overall picture. In that election, when all the electoral votes are calculated or tallied, George W. Bush had 271 electoral college votes, and Al Gore had 267 electoral college votes. Had Al Gore won New Hampshire, he would have been at 271 and he would have been president then, and George Bush would have been 267. So that how significant it was in the 2000 election, the New Hampshire 4 electoral college votes. Al Gore did have other ways to win that particular election. More importantly, he lost his home state of Tennessee, which had 11 electoral college votes. Had he won that, he would have been president. And of course, everybody knows about Florida. Had he won Florida, he would have been president. But that was a very, very close election. So even if he had lost Florida and Tennessee, had he won New Hampshire, he would have been president. So that's the point I'm trying to make, to say that it was very significant 4 electoral college votes in the year 2000. Then if we go to year 2004, John Kerry was matched up with George W. Bush. So John Kerry was able to win by a margin of 1.37%, and he was able to win by a margin of around 9,200 odd votes. But John Kerry was able to do much better because he was a senator from Massachusetts, and so the people from New Hampshire know about him. It's a neighboring state. So he was able to do better than Al Gore, and he was able to win. So then if we go to 2008 election, this is the Barack Obama versus John McCain matchup. And Barack Obama won very handily. He won all the 10 counties of New Hampshire, and he won by a margin of around 9.6 percentage points. He also won by a margin of around 68,000 odd votes. And so it was an easy victory for Barack Obama that way. But in 2012, Barack Obama was matched up with Mitt Romney, and he was not able to replicate the kind of success he had with John McCain. He still was able to win. He won by a margin of around 5.5% and by around 39,000 odd votes. But Mitt Romney also picked up some percentage points. And John McCain got 44%, and Mitt Romney got close to around 46% of the votes into 2012. So still Barack Obama was able to win. He was able to win 7 out of the 10 counties, and Mitt Romney won 3. So then you go to the Hillary Clinton versus Donald Trump matchup in 2016. Here, Hillary Clinton was able to win only by a margin of 0.37% of the votes and by only around 2,700 odd votes. So this was a very close election. And Hillary was able to pull through, though, and got the 4 electoral college votes. But it was a close election, and Hillary was able to win 4 out of the 10 counties, and Trump was able to win 6 out of the 10 counties. Then you go to the 2020 election between Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Joe Biden did relatively better when compared to Hillary, and he won by a margin of around 59,000 votes and by around 7 percentage points, and he won 8 counties to Donald Trump's 10. So overall, if you look at it, Republicans have anywhere from 44 to 46% of the votes in the state of New Hampshire. And Trump specifically has got between 45 and 46.5 vote percentages in New Hampshire. And also, New Hampshire is a state where you have a lot of independents, you have a lot of libertarians, and so we do not know exactly which way they will go. And as things stand right now, this is still a battleground state because of a couple of reasons. One is that Republicans can still make a play because they have got a support of around 46%. So what all they need to do is to flip 2 or 3 percentage points, which is very much doable. And the other reason is if you look at the polls at this time, if you take a look at all the polls and you just average them out, currently the Republican ticket is actually slightly leading the Democratic ticket. So at this point of time, Republicans are ahead slightly. So that's why I feel that this is a battleground state. I think it's going to be fought very heavily by both sides. And let's see what happens after this convention and then after the Democratic National Convention and see how the polls come out after that. Then I will come back to you in another 3-4 weeks to say whether this is truly a battleground or not. But at this stage, I will categorize this as a battleground state with both parties are in a position to actually win the state. So coming to the other topic of the news from yesterday, you guys might have seen J.D. Vance's speech yesterday in the Republican National Convention. From my perspective, it was a decent speech, but I do not think that this is going to really move the race one way or the other. The reason being that people are going to vote for Donald Trump, they're not going to vote for J.D. Vance. So people who like Donald Trump, they're going to vote for Donald Trump. And they're not just going to say that, no, I don't like Donald Trump, but I like J.D. Vance, so I'm going to vote for Donald Trump. That's not going to happen. So, so from that perspective, I think, as I mentioned before, this is basically a do no harm VP pick. And so anybody who likes Trump will vote for the Republican ticket because J.D. Vance is basically a Trump light, nothing more than that. Then the other news is more interesting in the sense from the Democratic side. As I had mentioned before last week, and as I predicted, slowly the Democratic leaders are talking to Joe Biden. They're trying to nudge him to leave the race, withdraw the race gracefully. You might have seen Nancy Pelosi informing Joe Biden saying that he cannot win. Similarly, the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer has done the same. So I think this will continue. And from my perspective, don't be surprised if we get some kind of a leak tonight, during the RNC convention final day. There might be some news leak that says that Joe Biden is considering to withdraw or something like that. This is the game that both political parties will play to basically make sure that they also share the spotlight on the news, right? So nevertheless, you're going to see Joe Biden withdraw, if not this week, most likely sometime mid or late next week. I think it's quite clear now that his candidacy is something that the Democrats are not really looking forward to. So that's pretty much it for today. And tomorrow I'll come back with another analysis of a battleground state, and that will be Nevada. So stay tuned and take care.